is the Fantasy Golf Degenerates podcast, bringing you this week's best bets, DFS picks, course previews, recaps of the last 2 weeks for the Procore Championship. And as always, the show is brought to you by ProphetX. Use code FGDegenerates to get yourself 1.5% back on your first 30 days of plays. And as always, sitting on the beautiful brown couch, we've got a little story about that coming up, soon. But Kenny Kim, what's up, Kendo Kim?
Yeah, man, we had a couple of weeks off. Kudos to Tommy Fleetwood for winning the Tour Championship. Actually won that bet. That's outright number 5 for me this year. I actually have a chance to maybe tie last year's number. I had 7 outrights last year, but I had 45 each way hits. I only had like 24 this season. So I need to actually, so if I hit these next 2, if I get 7, I'll be up a little bit for the year instead of, 65, 70 units like I was last year. So hopefully we can get one starting this week at the Procore. A little bit different this week, a little bit different feel at
baby.
The BMW PGA Championship over at Wentworth. It's actually a pretty fucking big golf weekend.
Yes,
yeah, pretty big. Let's talk about Tommy real quick.
Recording in progress.
Oh boy,
do we miss recording all of it?
No, I've got you. We're good. I just noticed.
Okay,
we're okay. Yeah.
God damn it.
The Zoom lady just said recording in progress.
I know.
We missed what we did in the beginning, but Mike says we're good.
We've had weeks off. What do you want me to do?
We're gonna keep going, but let's talk a little bit about Tommy. Look, I know it's a couple weeks ago. I know it's a little bit old, but I know it's only a 30-man field, but to get his first victory in a 30-man field is low-key hilarious.
It's not low-key. It is hilarious, Kenny.
It's hilarious. I mean, technically he does have a win, but there will be an asterisk by it. Now, the thing is, this could lead to more wins. He gets that monkey off of his back, and once he gets that next victory, no one's going to remember that his first win was a 30-man field. But I think he still needs to get another win, right? For people to really believe in him, which sort of sucks because he won like $10 million that weekend. The champion of the year. So pretty crazy stuff with Tommy. Glad I got that outright. Here's the deal about that. I was in Tampa for our auction draft that we do every year. Every year I go to this auction draft. A couple of guys in the league are loaded. We pick a different place and, we go there, have a good time. All 10 of us went back to Tampa, one of our favorite spots. And of course, I did my thing. Tampa, strip club capital of the United States, one of them, right? So I did my thing. I probably spent like $8,000 on the trip. And so with that, Tommy win, and I also won the Slider Cup. I got back around $3,500, almost half of what I spent on the trip. It was the first time in my golf betting history where I actually needed the win, right? right. We're like, I actually needed the win. And to do it with Tommy, for Tommy's first victory, pretty cool. I got the W. I don't know how you did that week. Did you bet Tommy?
No. I've been like saying with him and Cam Young, I'm just never going to try and be early. I figured I'd just say I'd lose my money elsewhere, basically. But dude, holy cow, that's just so freaking hilarious. But you mentioned, Kenny, that I think it's like 1% of people are going to remember that he really still hasn't won a legit event. All the normies, all the casuals are going to like, oh, this guy's like, he's good to go. Like he fucking won the Tour Championship, dude. Like that's a big deal. Like the fact that it was,
a big deal.
It is. And, I looked it up. The strokes gained he had for the Tour Championship W, he would have got beaten by himself at the BMW Champ or the FedEx St. Jude, and the other one he choked away. Like the 2 times he should have won, he gained more strokes than he did at the Tour Championship, which is kind of, statistically validating what we're saying here. So to just get it done, though, is incredible. It's truly incredible. I think it would have been fun to have seen. Oh, no, we were talking about it's so long ago, Kenny, I can't even remember so let's just leave that alone. Congrats to Tommy Fleetwood. Proud of him. I do think that's going to be monkey off the back now, like you mentioned. So he's going to be doing his thing.
I don't think you need to hesitate clicking his button if you like him in a tournament this coming up year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think he's going to, and man, think about how ferocious he's going to be in Ryder Cup situation, because he's playing fucking good golf right now, man. And he's been very, very impressive in the Ryder Cups. I was up in Minnesota, Kenny. I've got another Minnesota story for you boys and girls. Minnesota gas station attendant, still employed at the same gas station, can confirm. So the Hello Kitty biker gang guy that's going to kick your ass or lick your ass is still employed. And speaking about licking and kicking asses, I had a situation over the weekend. So we went up for a baby shower and went up with the missus and the baby and went to the baby shower, had some really good barbecue food. And, when you see in Minnesota, one of the guys.
Minnesota, when I think of Minnesota, I'm thinking of like the state fair, like deep fried butter.
Yeah, no, this was a baby shower hosted by the brother-in-law, is a professional barbecuer, so buddy, and the briskets and the glizzies, the hot dogs, the Kirkland hot dogs that came off of that grill were fucking amazing, man.
How do you like your hot dogs? Like what? I like them a little black.
Little char.
Yeah,
Yes.
a little black.
That's fine.
Burnt.
Yeah. Gotta burn the shittiness off of it,
What's your condiment of choice? I will judge you for this.
It's ketchup and mustard.
Oh yeah, ketchup. You got
Mustard.
bounce, Bob.
Ketchup
You
and
gotta
mustard.
bounce, Bob. Gotta bounce.
What is your condiment?
What's yours?
Gotta bounce. It's mustard and relish. That's it. That's all you need.
Well,
or you can go cheese and onions if you're going big time. But if you're just going straight condiments, it's mustard and it's relish. Ketchup is for French fries. That's it. And children. That's
I'll
it.
eat ketchup on about anything. But a hot dog is fair game, in my opinion, if you are rocking the ketchup on there. But these food items, okay. Like I've been rocking the keto for the last 2 weeks, and I just been smashing.
Thinner.
Yeah,
I was going to say, from the last time I saw you a couple weeks ago, your face is definitely fucking thinner.
Yeah, I'm down like 14 pounds. So
That's awesome.
When I do keto, it just melts off of me because I'm so sugar addicted that if I do keto, I don't do any sugar. And then like my biggest area of concern is like just not in existence anymore. So I was just mashing brisket, coleslaw, and these hot dogs that this guy put on there. So baby needs to sleep. I leave the baby shower early and take her back to go to bed, put her down. And Sweet Spot DFS, he's a YouTuber, if you guys aren't aware of him, and fan of the show, and a good friend of mine. And we were going to meet up because he's from Minnesota. So he was coming over. I was communicating with him. I'm going to be here, be home at 2:20, and he arrived shortly after me. But I needed to pee. Like when it's raining and you're driving home, you've been away for a while, and like the rain on the drive home just had me needing to pee like nonstop. I get home, I get the child out, put her on the floor, and go take a quick piss. While I'm peeing, Darbo walks in.
On the floor. I fuck with that.
Like in a safe environment, and he walks in, and I'm like getting done with my pee, and my whole life is just like out of control right now. As I'm coming to like greet Darbo, my hands are still wet. I think I sneeze and fart and shart. I screenshotted myself like somewhere between the bathroom and saying hello to Darbo. I sharted. So Darbo, you were a victim of the shart handshake. The first time I ever sharted myself, and it was brutal. But at the same time, I had to introduce myself to a friend that I've known on the internet forever. And it's like you're doing it with this like resentment and regret, like
you
deep
met
down.
Sweet Spot DFS for the first time, is what you're saying.
The first time I met this person, I just shot at myself like
You had wet butt.
seconds before. And I feel like he can validate in the comments below that the meeting was still good, but there was a lot going on inside my head when I met him. So, Minnesota just seems to have me by the balls. I've got a good story every time I come back from Minnesota, but just, the glizzy goo, poo was just right there. And it just,
Well, I'll let you
it's
know
one of those
right
things.
now. Once you turn 40, the shit happens more fucking often. I will
Oh,
say
I know.
like one
scared.
out of every 1,000 farts for me in my 40s, little something's come out. So that's just what happens when you get older. I've come to realize it. So now I know, like, when I'm in public places, I hold that shit in. I hold it in. I'm like, I'm not gonna risk. I know it's
Look,
like
I've
9.9% sure, but that 0.1% always seems to happen at like the worst possible fucking time. The butterfish story right there, right?
Yeah.
I mean
Yeah.
I mean, that was sort of not age induced, but food induced. And we do need to go to a sushi restaurant in Iowa, when we're there, and we will get some escalar, and that's all you're gonna eat the whole
Let's go.
dinner. Like, the only thing you're allowed to eat at
Hey, it's Kia.
restaurant will be escalar, will be butterfish, tuna, no red tuna, no salmon, no shrimp, none of that. It's just going to be white tuna, escalar, butterfish the whole time, and we'll see what happens. Because if you guys know, next week, we are going to be in Iowa. Me, Byron, and producer Mike will be in Iowa playing golf 126 holes in 5 days. It'll be a nice little trip. Should be a fun time. We will be recording. We're not going to talk about the Ryder Cup this week. We will talk about that next week. We'll be we won't be live, but we'll be recording from Byron's basement all together, talking about the Ryder Cup.
The jet cave.
Should be fun. Should be out in exactly 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Sweet Spot DFS will be joining us as well as the fourth. So I was, what do you when you vet someone, but it seems like he was vetting me because, like a lot more went wrong for me than it went for him. But we had a good time chatting. Looking forward to golfing with him. Very good golfer, Kenny. We're going to have lots of good tips for you and Mike. Lots of fun
struggling here a touch recently. It's not like struggle like I used to. I'm still breaking 90, but I can't get a lot of wasted shots, a lot of pushes. I've been pushing a lot, blocking it to the right. And I think it's because I'm not getting my hips around. Well, we're going to work on it, hopefully on the trip, see if we can improve. Still trying to get better at that game. A couple of things before we move on. One thing I do have a story from Tampa. I'll tell that in a minute, but let's get back to golf for a second. Let's talk about the Walker Cup. What a view. I mean, watch. Like, I write the course previews. I've written course previews for 10 years. It's sort of how I started into the biz. And so, I know courses, but when it comes to aesthetics and stuff like that, I don't really care. I'm just trying to figure out, what golfer will play well on this course, stuff like that. When I do my course previews, I'm actually watching the Walker Cup, which, if you guys don't know, it's the amateurs, amateur Americans versus amateurs from Great Britain and Ireland in a Ryder Cup style. There's no four balls. It's just foursomes and singles. And it's a 2-day event. The United States has really been whooping that ass here. I think they're 49-1 in the 50 years that the Walker Cup has been around. So I think they should probably let the other Europeans play, try and make it a little bit of a tighter matchup. But it was at Cypress Point. I don't think many people have seen Cypress Point outside of like still pictures and stuff like that. There's not that many tour events or events in that location. Alistair McKenzie, 100 years ago, it's breathtaking.
Right.
It is breathtaking. The visual aesthetics of that place was so beautiful. I was just mesmerized by the course. Pretty fun stuff, and a lot of studs out there playing. I mean, we got one that's playing this week.
3.
At
2.
Silverado. Hoylund.
We got a couple of them.
Yeah,
Fang and Watts and a couple of them. Miles Russell's playing. He wasn't in it, but
California already. They're in Northern
Yeah.
California already. Just a hour or two drive to Napa to play this event. But I thought that was a really fun watch. Any type of match play and stuff, the emotion, it was really good. Mason Howe, what a summer that boy has been having. He's still in high school. Like, I don't know how much like high school girls are like big fans of like, golfers and stuff like that. I would say if he was in college, he'd be getting all that ass. He'd be getting all that ass. In high school, I'm not really sure. People really give a fuck.
and he's getting college.
Man went out there, won the U.S. Amateur, right? Got his free spot. You win the U.S. Am, you automatically get a spot in the Walker Cup. He was unbelievable. I don't think he lost once. He holed out for from like 150 to win, right? I mean, like, he's made so many amazing putts. What a summer by him. That's a name that you're going to hear. He's going to the University of Georgia. He'll be in the SEC. That's a name to remember, Mason Howe, out there when you see him on these pro events. Did you catch any of the tournament this past week?
Oh yeah, dude, it was beautiful. For those of you that aren't aware of Cypress Point, it's like Pebble Beach, but
On roids.
but
Like,
beautiful.
visually, it's so
Like,
pretty.
Yeah, there's like cypress trees everywhere, and there's like white
You know,
sand
the
and
most
cliff faces
craziest thing I saw was there's a hole where on the left side is just humongous trees, ginormous cypress trees, woods. And then like 30 yards to the right is the Pacific Ocean.
yeah.
Like, right? So like I saw that hole and I was like, I know exactly how I will play this hole. I will snap hook this
Hook into the trees.
fucking trees. It'll bounce off the tree and get it and roll across the fairway into the ocean. Like, I already know that's what's gonna happen. I mean, I will never play there, probably, right? You gotta know a member to play there. And their guest rules are pretty crazy. No phones. It's like you're at a Dave Chappelle show, right? You're not allowed to bring your phone. All these other rules. That was pretty freaking incredible. But I also want to talk about Rory.
Before, I'll give you some more stuff about what I was thinking
Right.
about there. Luke Poulter is a freak show. Holy shit, he's massive.
He's
Ian
massive,
Poulter's
but he
son.
got his ass whooped almost every round.
Right, but at the same time, I think they said the amateur world rankings, the total rankings for the American team was like 28 or something like that, and then for the GBIs it was like 98. Like the rankings are just ridiculous.
Well, I think they need to bring in the Europeans. All of
Oh yeah, for sure. But it was still fun to see the GBIs. I think did they win both foursome sessions,
No.
or at least the first one they
First one 3-1, second one was 2-2.
Yeah, so they never lost a foursome session. That band of boys, like what it just
In the
shows you,
last
like
50 singles matches, United States is 35.5 points. Your GBI has 14.5.
yeah, America is so individualized in everything they do. It makes complete sense that when you're playing your own golf ball, you're going to whoop ass. When you're not, anyone's got a chance. And it was fun to see that. Also, Stuart Hagestad, what are we doing with this situation? You're 34 years old. Like,
I mean, he's not a pro.
He's not a pro, but he's banging the guys he's playing with's moms. Like, he could be doing that if he had game. Like,
you know what he does? He works in the finance sector, right? So he's a finance bro. So that's why he has enough time to practice, because he's making all this money. He can take calls from the course. It's really a perfect gig if you want to really continue being able to play golf at a very, very high level, because obviously he's making that money also. I mean, he's 36 years old. I think he's 34. He's played in 5 Walker Cups, never lost. He's 5-0 in Walker Cups. I think he's 7-1 total in matches played or something like that. The guy is, he's out there, and he had the winning point. Made a 25-footer.
Kenny,
to win the winning point. He's someone I'm
so you
jealous of.
don't have a problem with a man who's double the age of his competitor playing, like in an amateur situation. Like double the age in a professional setting is completely cool, but like obviously,
right. He's an
even more
amateur.
respectable.
What's your contest? It doesn't matter what your age is. You just got to be an amateur. He's an amateur. He's never been a pro. So I have no problem with that. No.
I got it just
Why?
doesn't seem right. And
Why
he's
does
using
it
a
not
broomstick
seem right?
putter. Like it's like the whole aesthetics. Like
So the broomstick's gonna be big.
I missed the first part. What you say?
He's like 6'6". So if you're gonna use the broomstick,
I know.
Tall.
It's just gross. It's like Groot out there putting, and it's just like I don't know. Anyway, crazy stuff. Awesome viewership, and it was lots of fun to watch. And like what the 18th hole, Kenny, you have to take an iron off the tee, and if you miss the fairway, you
I like it as a finishing hole. Really,
it's like you're basically playing 4 par 3s down the final 3 holes because you've got that short par 3, then you got the long boy, and then you got to hit the fairway, and then you got to hit the green, like on 18. You know, so it's like it's 4 irons in a row, which is kind of unique as well. You know, to finish off a round. So, well, I think there's another par 4 mixed in there somewhere. But moving on to Rory,
drivable par 4 that's mixed up in there also.
Yes, is that 17?
It's one of those last 4 holes.
Yeah. Anyway, Rory, crazy shit, King.
I was pretty fucking impressive, bro. Like I was rooting against him. I'm in Ryder Cup mode already, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm in Ryder Cup mode. I'm not going to root for a guy that's going to be on the European Ryder Cup team 3 weeks before the event starts. But what he did was in front of a home crowd. I mean, it was spectacular. If you guys didn't watch the Irish Open, there's a Swedish guy, Lagerin, I think is his name. He had a 2-stroke lead, finished. He was -17, finished 18 with a birdie to get to -17. Rory was -15 going into the par 5. It's a drive about 335 yards, right down the middle. That's about 210 left to the pin. I don't know. For 210 for Rory's what, an 8 iron?
8 iron.
Yeah, probably an 8 iron for him. It wasn't like the greatest 8 iron. It was pin high, 25, 30 feet, right? But the thing about Rory and what he's done this season and recently in the last few years, his putter has been really good. Like outside of the little hiccups we saw at the US Open and stuff like that. But like overall, his putting has been excellent. And you saw it again, that 25-footer. I mean, it was good the whole way. Makes Eagle probably the loudest roar I've heard this year on any course, on any tournament around the world. It was a Tiger-esque type roar. In his home country.
It was so interesting, Kenny, because he wasn't like super passionate about the putt going in for Eagle until he heard the roar. And then he like reacted to the roar, because like I'm just getting goosies thinking about it now. It's just incredible. And he hit that 8 iron. I think you're trying to hit the exact same shot he hit on 15 on Sunday at Augusta because it required that kind of shot shape. And also, as good as his putter's been, Kenny, he lost strokes putting when he won the Masters. Like, to do it. It's just, he's had such a weird year, and then he goes and does this, and then he gets into a playoff, and then.
Yeah, it was a fun watch. I felt bad for the other guy. He went to 4 playoff holes. And then the guy just sort of lost it on that last playoff hole, which is, pretty easy to do. You're playing Rory on his home country. Right? So,
and you're playing a par 5 over and over again against Rory McIlroy. It's like, wow, it's just the worst, man.
I think he outdrove him a couple of times in the playoff. He is pretty,
but I mean,
really impressive stuff by Rory. I'm definitely worried about the Ryder Cup. I still think the United States is going to win comfortably, but Fleetwood and Rory doing those things, right? Definitely a little worrisome, but they were basically 1 and 2 on the team, right? Against our 1 and 2 would be Scotty, and I don't even know who our number 2 is. Anybody could be number 2. It's basically Scotty and like a humongous gap. But again, we'll talk about the Ryder Cup more next week. Before we move on to this week in the Procore Championship, I do have one story from Tampa when I was there. I have to say, it's the first time in my life. So we went to Oz. Right. So, and we went to Oz. It was the last day we were there. And so we get there. It's not late. It's like 8:00 or something like that on a Saturday night. Right. So it's not really busy yet. Strip clubs don't really pick up till 10, 11, 12 o'clock. And so we get in there, I do my thing. We get, bottle service, VIP section, all that good stuff. Right. And so, all the girls, no, we're the only ones in the VIP, in any VIP. There's people sitting and stuff like that, but we're the only ones in the VIP section getting bottle service. And so, we get a ton of girls coming, and you get your pick. So I picked 2, took them to the back, paid a shitload of money, did my thing. All right, did my thing, came back out, felt like I lost a lot of weight, felt great, right? But you sort of like after, basically after you bust a nut, let's just be fucking honest. After you bust a nut, you sort of somewhat get like brain fog, right? Right. And so like, I'm back at the VIP, and like, again, everyone knew that I was spending money, all the girls, right? And so of course they're going to be not attracted, but they're going to go towards the guy that's spending a lot of money because, it's a service industry. They want to make their dough. And so, the thing is, like, I had already busted a nut, and like, I really didn't feel like dealing with these bitches anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was good. I wanted to watch the girls on the pole, because I know it's sort of funny, but for me, like, I really enjoy giving money to girls who do really good work on the pole. I'm not talking about just like one leg. I'm talking about like the slow
athletic
skiing,
shit.
drop down, right to the floor, like impressive core strength,
They're pretty much athletes at that point. It is crazy.
Because, it takes practice. It takes skill. They are trying to work at their craft, right? It's not these, other girls who just, grab your dick and say, let's fuck, right? I mean, yes, cool. Yes. But, like I said, like after a certain amount of time, AKA after I bust a nut, I'm done with these bitches. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with them anymore. I just want to sit and I want to watch the girls do their magic on the pole, and I'll throw them mad bills. You know what I'm saying? And so I get back after, banging these 2 Cubans, and I'm sitting there, and there's like 6 girls around, grabbing my dick. I'm like, this shit's not gonna work right now. I'm 45 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only been like 8 minutes. The recovery time is not like it used to be. They just keep grabbing the dick. I'm like, why isn't it getting? They're like, why isn't it getting hard? They're in their like Latina accent. I'm like, bitches, I'm 45 years old. It's gonna take some motherfucking time, right? And like after a while, they were just all over me, rubbing me, doing whatever. I'm like, yo, I don't even want to be around you women anymore. This first time ever in my life at a strip club, I paid women to leave me the fuck alone. I gave them each, like, there were 4 girls. I gave them each like $150. I'm like, here, leave me alone. I don't want to see you. I don't want to do anything else. Leave me the fuck alone. and so they all bounced, and it was great. I got to sit there, walked up to the pole, did my thing. Then I started enjoying myself. But it was the first time ever at a strip club where I was like, I don't even want to deal with these bitches. I don't even want to deal with them. Don't even want to deal with them.
Incredible.
So it was a weird little story. And again, the brain fog just doesn't work as well, because Friday night we went to, or I think it was Thursday. Thursday we went to the Penthouse, right? It's another strip club right by the airport. We went straight from the airport, got a rental car, went straight to the strip club. It's like 3:00 in the afternoon, right? And so again, bottle service, basically every girl was there. And I do my thing, aka I busting up. We go back to the hotel. We have dinner at this nice little. We go back to the Airbnb. I have dinner at this nice hotel, and with one of my buddies. Not everyone wanted to go out, so me and him got to this nice. He's staying at the hotel because this friend. It's like his one time a year where he gets to like be a freak, and and so he gets his own separate room from us. So he can do. He's the type of guy that likes someone to step on his balls and shit like that. Like that's what he's a fan of. So he's staying at the hotel, but it's a nice hotel. We go there for dinner. I'm bullshitting with him. I'm bullshitting with the bartender. Bartender's cute as hell. And they have a Louis Trey there, right? It's a cognac, super expensive, $125 for a half ounce pour, right? So $250 for an ounce of pour. And I was like, I've had it once before. I didn't pay for it, and I was with my buddy. I just got a brand new credit card. I was like, hey, let's just go ahead and use this as the first thing that I spent my credit card with, and the girl behind the bar was, I guess, impressed. Right. So we talked it up, and I invited her to be, because we usually hire girls to be bartenders during our draft, right? And usually it's strippers. And that's what I was trying, but I asked her, and and she was like, yeah, me and my girl will definitely do it. And, like, girls say that all the time, right? When we do this, I didn't really believe her. And so, the draft happens and we go back to that restaurant that Sunday, right? After going to the strip club, right? And I talked to the girl and she's pissed. She's like, why didn't you call me? I took off work, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh shit, bitch, I forgot. Right? I thought you was just bullshitting. I totally forgot. And they're like, all right, well, just meet us afterwards. Meet us afterwards at this bar. We'll have a good time. I was like, sure. And so I got the sequence wrong. We went there first, and then we went to the strip club. So you go to the strip club. I do my thing, bust a nut, get rid of these girls, and then we go and meet her. But like at that point in time, like it's a lot harder to like spit game when you've already accomplished the goal that you've wanted to accomplish, right? And so like I'm just talking to her, and I'm literally I have zero game, none whatsoever, and I know it at that point in time, and I just give up. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go over here. I'm not even gonna talk to you anymore because this shit is not working. And so you remember, kids, if you're out there listening and you're young, and the whole thing about like rubbing one out before you go out with a girl or something like that, totally false. Totally false. You need to go when you're hitting on girls to have that horny mentality. That's really the only way your brain is going to work. At least mine. That's your public service announcement for strip clubs and stuff like that, and dating in the future. Right? You got to stay horny. Stay horny, people. Stay horny, and that's how you get that game.
They do call it post-nut clarity. That's the term that you're looking for.
Is that what I'm looking for?
You say fog, but it is the clarity portion because you're like, okay, all right, we're good now.
It's definitely fall. Because I probably could have taken that girl home too, and it just did not work.
The fog. Kenny likes the fog. It's like,
well, yeah, who doesn't? Because what did you just do? Every guy likes that.
I don't even know where to go with the story. I hate that she took a day off, Kenny, for you.
What do you mean?
Like she took the day off and then you left her high and dry.
Yeah, I didn't text her.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
okay, tell me about this booze as well. Like, what the fuck is it so expensive for? I didn't think I'd ever.
Okay, the big thing about Louis Trey is the glass, the crystal that the glass is, that holds the liquor is some crazy crystal that's expensive as fuck. That adds to the price. Secondly, it's a very well known after dinner drink for the rich, basically. is what it is. And I'm not rich, but when I'm on vacation, I play rich. How about that? You know what I'm saying? I play rich on vacation because, that's usually what I spend my money on if I'm going out on vacation. I don't go to strip clubs near me and stuff like that because I know I'll go broke. So I usually try and keep it to like once a year. When I was in Toronto,
Yes.
didn't go to strip club because
Montreal.
I knew I was going to go in Tampa. So it's usually like a once a year thing, and I spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. But to me, it's worth it.
Absolutely, my friend. You do whatever makes you happy. And
Mrs. Maniac, don't worry. This is not that type of. When we go next week, that's not this type of trip. This trip is golf only.
He's made it through the fog. We are going to be, hopefully, like Cypress Point. We don't get any fog. It's going to be the September time.
I mean, if I have a chance and I don't have to pay for it, I'm going to take it. I'll get a hotel.
What's up? Oh, we got a camper for you. We got a camper.
Right? If the opportunity, I'm going to take it. Right? You know what I'm saying? But I'll get a hotel or something. It will be cool.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We've got the trailer. Byron says that he has the trailer out front. So
Byron is parking an RV in front of the house, which is probably, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's probably smart. We'll work out those details when we get closer to trip.
All right. What is this now? 45-ish minutes, and we are in.
I thought this show was going to be like 30, 40 minutes. But again, we
haven't seen each other.
This is the fall swing. So I've already eaten my edible. Right? Oh
God.
That's the one thing. If you guys are unfamiliar with our show during the fall swing, we get about half the listenership and viewership. It's just, the diehards that have been with us for a very, very long time. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. That's why we still do the shows while some take a break in the fall. That's why we still keep doing these, pumping them out. We do it for you. But one thing I will say is I tend to be a little bit more loose when it comes to eating 200 milligrams of edibles and stuff.
Let's go,
during
baby.
the show. I don't normally do that during, before the show in the regular season. It's focused. We're grinding, but it's the fall. So what ends up happening is this. I will just ramble on and on and on and on about random fucking shit. That's why we have timestamps.
I'm not sure how that's different from the regular show, though.
There's more. There's more.
There's more.
It's not. If you remember last year, if you guys watched last fall, it was crazy. It was crazy. Every show was insane because I was fucking lit every goddamn show.
I think after the podcast lasted longer than the actual podcast.
That is true. That is true. But just to give you a heads up, that's what you expect in the fall.
We just here to have fun. We do this for fun, and we want you guys to have fun. If there's any random stuff you want us to address on the show, let us know in the comments, people. We are all about that. And while I'm saying that, you can get a free month to my Model Maniac Patreon. If you do comment below who's going to win this week, the first person to do that will be getting a free month to the Model Maniac Patreon. All my tools, all my models, showdown stuff, all the bets, you can get access to me. It's a fun time in there. And I'm doing some NFL stuff now as well to keep the PGA people kind of for the same price. It's all for one for all. And, just trying to find my feet in the PGA world. I understand it's a very saturated place, but I'm just providing people that are in there PGA content as well. So that's kind of your takeaway from there. Kenny, we fall off the swing in the fall swing, but whose swing is going to work this week in the fall in the first event of the fall swing?
Well, let's talk about the course. The PGA Tour heads to California for the Procore Championship. Procore is actually a construction estimating and project management tool, right? We do not use it at my company because it's $40,000 a year, right? For just one person. These guys kill it. Like 80% of all construction companies use Procore. And so these guys freaking kill it. And so it is the Procore Championship from Silverado Country Club's North Course. This event has been played here over a decade. So plenty of course history that you need. It's been sort of Team No Putt that has won here in the last decade. 5 of the last 10 winners here have been like good to elite ball strikers who have just sucked at putting. The other 5, I mean, outside of Stuart Sink, I think, and Max Homa twice, the other 7 winners here have been outside the top 100 in strokes gained putting for the year that they've won, right? And the thing is, every single winner here in the last 10 years have been inside the top 70, top 75 in strokes gained tee to green for the year. So you're looking for team no putt, you're looking for good ball striking. That could go a long ways this week. I mean, we've seen Griot in here, Brendan Steele, shitty fucking putter. Kazire was like 127th in strokes gained putting. Cam Champ was 136 when he won. Kevin Tway was 129th when he won. Brendan Steele was 189th in strokes gained putting the first year he won. The next year he came back, he was 105th in strokes gained putting. Griot won this event, 107th in strokes gained putting for the year. So there you go. The weather could play a factor. One thing I've noticed in the last few years here is if the weather is dry, the course plays a lot tougher. They don't water the greens here as much as you see on other courses where dry weather can happen. And the reason for that is Johnny Miller, he basically runs Silverado. He wants this course to be a course that he wants to play major at this course. I don't think it's going to happen. They're going to have to do a lot more. But that's why they keep the course somewhat difficult. The one thing I will say about Silverado is if the course is soft, say there's rain. I haven't checked the weather yet. Say there's rain, say it's going to be soft. You sort of bring up the birdie or better percentage in your mind. Okay. If it's dry and fast and firm, you bring up strokes gained around the green in your mind. I think that's the big thing that you can judge based upon the weather. Again, also take a peek at start times. Start times are pretty big here. Like it's cold as shit in the morning a lot of the times. Like we've seen like 55, 58 degrees for the first tee times at this course. It's a lot tougher to score in those mornings. So I know a lot of people when they do first round leader bets, right? They're looking at those early morning, especially if it's POA because of less traction on the green, stuff like that. I don't think that applies here. I think mid-morning, later in the morning starts, even afternoon starts, I think they're a little bit easier because the weather gets a lot warmer, ball travels a lot further. It's just something to pay attention to when you're doing like first-round leader betting markets and stuff like that. So let's get to the meat of the course. Silverado Country Club's North Course, 7,200 yard, just about par 72, standard 4 par 3s, 4 par 5s. First designed by Robert Trent Jones and redesigned by Johnny Miller in 2011. The 4 par 5s are the 4 easiest holes on the course, and the majority of golfers will attempt to reach them in 2. 7 of the 10 par 4s are between 400 and 450 yards. And only 1 is over 450 yards, depending on the tee box used. So you'll see a lot of wedge short iron play onto these greens. And you'll also see a fair amount of long irons, 200 plus, with the approaches into the 4 par 5s and some par 3s. 2 of the par 3s are over 200 yards. Again, the longer irons. The other 2 are fairly short, between 150 and 175. Off the tee, golfers are going to see tight tree line fairways. The trees are mostly sporadic, not bunched together like a lot of East Coast courses, but these trees are very tall and towering. The fairways themselves are fairly hilly with some slope, and golfers will have to deal with fairway bunkers placed strategically in the landing areas. The rough around the fairways has 2 levels. The first cut of rough stretches out about 10 feet from the edge of the fairway and really shouldn't be a problem. That's why you still see a decent amount of driver on this course. Though I don't really pay too much attention to strokes gained off the tee when you're looking at stats overall throughout the years. Now, Byron might think something different, and I'll probably listen to Byron since he has all the models out there when we get to that part. But just from me to watching over the years. Now the second cut of rough is a blend of Kentucky bluegrass and rye, which can get gnarly. But again, this is a resort course, so you don't really see the rough over 3 inches. It could be a little bit more. We'll see how it is. But 2.5 to 3 inches is usually what they've been around. The rough shouldn't be too bad to play out of as long as the golfers miss on the correct side. There are quite a few dog legs, and missing on the wrong side could make approach shots more tricky, especially when you take into account the large trees throughout the course. Golfers, this is something that I've noticed again. Golfers that have a low ball flight have had an advantage here if they hit the ball in the rough off the tee, because the greens can play very firm, have a disadvantage, here, because the greens can play very firm if there's no rain. So higher ball flight, especially from the rough, should make it easier. On approach shots, golfers will see bent grass greens with POA, bent grass blended with POA that are average in size. Johnny Miller stated in interviews that he wants the greens to have an Augusta feel. This shows his greens are slightly elevated and have a good amount of slope and undulation. One thing we have seen at Augusta, Team No Putt, the Adam Scotts and stuff like that of the world have won. For a while. That event. Greenside bunkers are prevalent and most guard the front of the greens. Many of the holes have tight moan runoff areas, and missed approaches that land in these areas will make for a tough up and down on these elevated, heavy undulating greens. The greens can play firm, and I would expect them to be firm unless there's some rain in the forecast, because like I said, they don't water these greens that often during play. They should have a stip meter reading around 11.5 to 12. Polo greens tend to get bumpy as the day goes on, but Justin Rose once did say a few years ago these were some of the smoothest polo greens he had ever played on. Again, something to look at, when you're thinking about first round leader, because a lot of time when you play polo, you think early first round leader, so the greens are nice and fresh and they're not so bumpy. These greens, Justin Rose says, are the smoothest polo greens he's ever seen. If you're looking for, comp courses, Riviera, TPC San Antonio, Quail Hollow, Scottsdale, Torrey Pines, stuff like that would be what I think. Byron, what are you looking for in golfers and any other stuff for the audience to know before we move on to our betting segment?
Yeah, I'm going to do a thing, Kenny, where I'm going to be doing Byron's boxes going forward, just so I can, in the Discord, I do a thing where we check boxes, all the boxes that I'm looking for this week on this golf course. So I'm going to show you real quick, quick little doopy-doo of what's in the Discord. This is like part of the research channel that I have in there. So you can go in there and get all this cool information that I have for you guys. The strokes gain correlations at this course. So this is basically taking everyone that plays there and it kind of breaks it down and if these guys did well off the tee, is this going to translate well to this golf course versus tour average? And like you mentioned, Kenny, you're not too worried about it off the tee. It is a 2% advantage off the tee if you are better off the tee. It's going to matter more, 2% more than tour average. So you're going to be needing that, and particularly with the accuracy stuff, because we've seen down over here at the bottom, these fairways are 25 yards wide. Like you mentioned, you got 3 yards either side of that, but let's make, it's still not going to give you a tour average with fairway. So missing the fairway here is pretty similar to tour average, nothing too crazy. And then you mentioned again on the approach side of things, a lot of shots coming from this 100 to 125 range. You got to be dialed in from 100 to 150. You're going to see a third of your shots on approach coming from there. So that's very important, just to double down on what you were talking about. And then some things I want to check this week. Strokes gained off the tee on shorter golf courses. So guys that are clubbing down, we're going to be looking for names like Scotty Scheffler, Jackson Coyven, Tom Hoagie, Eric Cole, Matthew Riddell. There are some situations with small sample sizes, but that's someone I'm going to be looking for. We're going to be looking for guys who are solid on POA putting surfaces. If we're looking for POA over the last 24 rounds, let's go there. We've got Taylor Montgomery, Akshay Bhatia, Peter Malnati, by the way, Hayden Springer, and Chris Ventura are the top 5 for POA putting around the greens. If we're looking for guys in that department, we're going to cruise over back to this side of the model. Who has been solid around the greens? Russell Henley, Scotty Scheffler, Andrew Putnam, Martin Laird, and Jonathan Bird are the top 5 for those around the green courses. And then we're going to be looking for course history. Strokes gained course history. I'm going to find it on my own model here shortly. There we go. And find the top 5 for that. JT, Seth Theegala, Matt Kuchar. Think about those intense wedge venues. Matt Kuchar's one of them. Max Homa and then Davis Thompson, also very solid performances here in the past. Then we're going to be taking a look at strokes gained approach from 100 to 150. Like we mentioned, very important. From the fairway, these are your guys. Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar's the best iron player from 100 to 150 from the fairway. It's just, if that doesn't scream correlation, that's why Matt Kuchar plays so well here, is because he's such a good wedge player. He typically plays well at these wedge-intensive venues. Scott Piercy, Kevin Streelman, Scotty Scheffler, Justin Thomas, and Matt Kuchar are your top 5 from the fairway. None of these guys necessarily the greatest from the rough. Out of the rough from 150 and in, we've got George McNeil, Danny Walker, Taylor Montgomery, Zach Blair, and Ricky Castillo. So a couple fun names over there. You can find the top 20 model rankings in the Model Maniac Discord. But I figured I'd share some fun stuff. Guys, let me know if you are in the mood to be dealt with these boxes. I am from Boksburg. That's originally where I'm from. The city that I grew up in South Africa, is called Boksburg. So we're going to check some boxes because we're trying to find the Boksburgers. And we'll get into some bets here, and I'll tell you who checked the most boxes when I tell you who I am betting this week at the Procore Championship. Kenny, let's get some ProphetX. What are we going with here next? I haven't even taken it, but I don't even know where I'm going.
Looked, I'll be honest, I haven't looked at ProphetX yet. I'm sure they'll be up. My guess is they're big on football. If they have stuff up, I will have some plays again. Remember to use code FG Degenerates. Get yourself a nice little bonus when you get on ProphetX. Again, it is peer versus peer. It is not you versus the book. So you can get some wilder numbers. Make sure you go check that out. But let's go to our betting segment for this week. And I'll go over my bets so far. And I think this might be the carb. First off, it's going to be JJ Spawn. 35-1 with 3 places. One of the few Ryder Cup members that have played this course a bunch, like 10, 11 years. He's played this course. Comes up as number 3 in my model this week, just behind Scotty and Russell Henley in the last 24 rounds. Ball striking has been phenomenal since May. Gained 12 strokes with his irons at St. Jude and BMW against the big boys. Strong wedge game and has been pretty good around the greens here recently. Supremely confident after the regular season he has just had. So I do like JJ, 35-1, 3 places. Next one I just added. When you were talking about Akshay Bhatia and how good he's been on POA. He ended the season decent. I think 3 straight top 25s to end the year. It looked like the game was slowly coming back. I'm going to go Bhatia 45-1 with 3 places. Once again, I literally just made that bet. So I didn't have the write-up on it like I normally has. But just from what I remember him towards the end of the year, he was playing a little bit better. You throw in the fact that he has good form on this course and that he has the putting splits that we're looking for on POA. I will go ahead and play a little bit of him. If you look at his numbers, he's 4th in strokes gain approach in the last 24 rounds in this field. 3rd in par 4 efficiency from 400 to 450. 3rd in strokes gained par 5 scoring in the last 24 rounds. Even his short iron play from 100 to 125, 10th in this field. From 125 to 150, 41st in this field. 11th in 200 plus. The guy has been creeping up. So I'm going to go ahead and take Akshay 45-1, 3 places. The next one is going to be Jackson Koivum. Jackson is, and I'm going to get him 45-1 with 8 places. I'll talk about him a little bit later on the show. Next up, it's going to be Patrick Fishburne, 70-1 with 8 places. Comes in number 8 in my model the last 24 rounds. Ranked number 1 in par 4 efficiency from 400 to 450 yards Tons of par fours of that length. Finished third here last year and ended the regular season with 5 straight made cuts, 3 top 20s and 2 top 10s in that span total. He didn't have, 3 and 2, but he had 3 top 20s, and in those 3 top 20s, he had 2 top 10s. So he came in playing strong, and he has played this course well before. Next up, it's going to be Sammy Wacky Valimaki. 75-1, 8 places. The kid has been playing really well across the pond. I think back-to-back top 10s on the DP World Tour since he finished his regular season on the PGA Tour. He's also 14th in my model in the last 24 rounds, and that does not include the 2 top 10s on the DP World Tour. 37th in approach, 7th in birdie or better percentage, 24th in putting, 5th in par 4 efficiency from 400 to 450 yards, and 16th in strokes gained par 4s, strokes gained par 4 scoring in this field the last 24 rounds. The last one, it's going to be David Lipsky, 250-1 win only, and 150-1 with 8 places. Iron game to end the season was very strong. Gained strokes to the approaches in his last 5. He also has gained strokes off the tee in the last 3, gained around the green in 10 of the last 12. Ended the regular season making 5 straight cuts with 2 third-place finishes in those 5 events. He was a runner-up here last year. So, my card, it's going to be JJ Spawn, 35-1, 3 places. Akshay Bhatia, 45-1, 3 places. Jackson Koivun, 45-1, 8 places. Patrick Fishburne, 70-1, 8 places. Sammy Valimaki, 75-1, 8 places. David Lipsky, 250-1, win only, 150-1, 8 places.
Let's go. And how many of those are with, you're not doing any without Scotty markets? You're just taking the 3 places each way.
Let's go ahead and talk about that now. My take on Scotty this week is Scotty likes familiarity. He likes a routine. He's never played this course before. He's going to have Ryder Cup duties during the week. Dinners, get-togethers, practicing with people he normally wouldn't practice with. He can win this tournament, and he probably will. Don't get me the fuck wrong.
2-1 to win the tournament.
Don't get me the fuck wrong. I'm not saying, but if you're going to fade Scotty, this seems like a very, very good week to do it. Right? This to me seems like a very, very good week to do it. All those reasons that I said. Again, familiarity, having an idea of the course, having a routine, that's sort of his shit, right? That's all going to be messed up this week because first off, he hasn't played the course, and secondly, all the Ryder Cup stuff that they're going to be doing during the week. They have a dinner planned on Tuesday. Those guys are going to go out and practice together to try and figure out 4 balls and foursome teams and stuff like that. And I'm not necessarily sure if those are the people that he normally would go out with. He probably has a routine on how he practices, like what he does to practice. That's all going to be out the window because of the Ryder Cup duties that they're going to have. Because, 10 guys on the Ryder Cup team are playing this event.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. We can chat a little bit more about Scotty, and maybe like the POA surfaces. He's never really had immense success on a classic POA venue, and by immense success, I mean winning golf tournaments. He's never won the Genesis Invitational at Riviera, which is POA, and also typically has very good layover from Masters comps. You see a lot of good Masters winners and participants succeed at the Riv Club, but he hasn't. And his pricing is bananas. Like 2-1 to win a golf tournament that's got 140 people in it is like nuts. Just to think of that. But
I don't even think the books are really fucking us with that. I think that's the correct number with the way
fair. Like, I do the thing where I look and see how you've done over the years if you're betting to win $100. Scotty's like up by like $150, maybe $200. That's 2 or 3 tournaments, and you're like, losing money again, like
Yeah.
if he doesn't win them. So you're on a razor's edge with that. Kenny, I'm going to double down with you on Akshay Bhatia. I think 33-1 over at Better Rivers. I'm going with the 6 places each way there. If you think about what Akshay gets up to on the West Coast, he's a savage. I think he's grown up. He's the only person I think to ever hit like 18 greens around Pebble Beach, in one single round. So he can ball strike these West Coast venues to absolute death. We're going to need it here. He's got a top 10 finish in the past back in 2020. The ball striking was scintillating going to wrap up the kind of the last tournaments he's played in. He's been really, really impressive on the driver and the iron side of things, but the putter he's been losing with the putter. But now, can you remember, second in power putting? So we're going to be getting back to a surface that he's very comfortable on. Now, there's a big issue about him being around the greens. That's a big deal. You need to be affluent around the greens here. But again, we're back in California. I think he's going to be a bit more comfortable around the greens as well. He's played on all these courses many times. He's familiar with this grass, and he's hitting it so well.
He went to Pepperdine, right? Isn't that a California school?
I don't know where he went. He didn't go to school because he came out of high school and went to the Corn Ferry Tour right away, I believe.
You're right.
To answer your question. So I do know where he went for college, and it wasn't anywhere. So that's Akshay Bhatia for you. He backed himself, and now we're trying to get this guy to get across the line. Top 5 in iron play this year, and it's just been really, really impressive. Very good on the short courses. Justin Thomas. I'm going to be taking Justin Thomas at 18-1, 6 places there. He's the guy that checks the most boxes for me. If we're taking a look at things that we're looking for, Justin Thomas, if you think about wedge play, he's one of the best wedge players in the world, like all the time. He's just been fantastic from that range. If you think about Justin Thomas, off the tee, he's been struggling a little bit. In my model, I've got him ranked 42nd over the last 12, 8, 4, and 2 months. On shorter courses, less than 7,200 yards, Justin Thomas is 14th off the tee. So he's a lot better at manipulating the golf ball around these dog legs. He needs courses that demand you to shape the ball. He's always trying to shape the ball on straight holes because Tiger told him he needs more shot shapes in his game, and it hasn't come to fruition. So now on a course like this, he should be thriving. He's fantastic on easy scoring conditions. Remember, Kenny always mentioned when JT gets to an easy course, you go and play Justin Thomas. JT has got himself a 5th and a 4th year in the last 2 times he's played at this golf course. So he's very, very good on this course. The putting, we'll see. He's part of Team No Putt on POA. You never know what he's going to get up to, but obviously that 4th and 5th, he can knock that out. He's fantastic around the greens, is JT. 7th in the field in strokes gained around the greens, despite being one of the better iron players in the field. Love that from him. So we're getting all sorts of boxes checked from Justin Thomas at 18-1. He's the only person who checks 4 boxes for me, or five of the 7 boxes, which is important. He's outbox checked Scotty Scheffler, and Scotty obviously doesn't have the course history, which is what would have got him to there too. But still, like you mentioned there, the course history is in the 2nd tier of course history courses. Augusta's in tier 1, and then there's like a whole bunch of like the Genesis Invitationals, Bay Hill. This golf course is just at the bottom of that range. It's very sticky when it comes to course history. So I love the fact that Justin Thomas has played well here, and we get the 5 places each way. I think you can get a 12-1 on him if you don't want Scotty Scheffler in the mix, which seems a little steep. I'll just take the 6 places and just hope for the best. I do like the 3 places, Kenny. You're getting such better odds, and it's basically a without market with everybody. In a weird way, like a pseudo situation there. So that's going to be my 2 outrights. I may add a 3rd one or 4th one going along. We'll see. Also, it's also tempting to leave when Scotty Scheffler is in the field to leave a bit of bankroll behind in case he falls a couple shots back and figures it out.
I think he was like 8 strokes back and was like 14-1. Oh, that one tournament, like the last time he was out.
Yeah,
because it's not even worth it. Well,
at Augusta, he was hundreds to 1, like way back, and almost damn well won that damn thing, So
yeah, I mean, the one time I won a Scotty bet was at the Players 2 years ago, and I bet him live. I think he was like 8 strokes back, and he was 28-1, and he wasn't even the Scotty that he was now. So you're not going to get like great numbers ever until like the final round, probably.
Yeah, you need less holes for him to do that. But depending who's ahead of him, depending what the weather looks like, just hang in there. And worst case
Yeah.
scenario, you bet somebody else. I'm cool with that as well. I'm trying to maybe figure out a way to attack the live betting market, Kenny, a little better, because I'll be honest with you, I've had struggles trying to win outrights when I'm betting at pre-tournament. So maybe I need to get in the mix once I've seen a bit more stuff. I can see how the guys are behaving. I don't know. I'm just going to shake things up in the fall and see where it goes. So we'll see what happens there. When it comes to some placement markets, I'm going to go with the Sex Panther, Platinum Sex Panther, Russell Henley. 60% of the time he's inside the top 10 all the time, baby. It has gone down a smidgen over the last little while. He's sitting there at a 51% clip for top 10 rates, but you can get Russell Henley at a golf course that you need to be in the fairway. You got to hit your wedge as well, and you got to have a good short game. But if that doesn't scream Russell Henley to me, I don't know what does. He's second in my model. I love Russell Henley for the top 10 market at plus 140 tires paid in full. You're getting even money on one of the best top 10 performers in this field. Nobody else. If I'm looking at top 10 rates, Scotty Scheffler, 88% of the time is inside the top 10. Russell Henley, 51% of the time. Then it's Jackson Coyven, Justin Thomas. Let's go with JT. He's only 35% of the time inside the top 10. That's 15% behind Henley. So we're getting the same odds for Russell Henley in the top 10 market as you are for Justin Thomas, but there's just certain guys that are way more comfortable in certain areas of the leaderboard, and their games are just a little more consistent than others. So Russell Henley is an absolute smash play for me in the top 10 market there at plus 140.
Sounds good. Let's move on to DFS Blood, Sweat, and Tears, right? Or do you have more placements?
That's it. Let's go. I'm ready for that.
Before we actually get into this, what do you think of the guys on the Ryder Cup team coming out and playing? How are you? Are you not paying attention to that? I mean, the only thing I'm paying attention to is Scheffler, and that's just a reason to fade him. That's it. Are you worried about people just coming out and just trying to get ready for 2 weeks from now? Maybe just blasting driver off the tee every hole because that's what it takes at Bethpage. I mean, do you see guys doing that, or do you think that they came to actually try and compete and win?
I think the second. What would be the point of coming out here and trying to play a golf course that's not going to reward you for the shots you're hitting? It's just going to fuck with your head. You're going to be hitting from behind trees all the time or whatever. Like, I think these guys are good enough. They've all been selected for a reason. They've got the distance off the tee anyway. They're going to be just nuking it off the tee regardless at Bethpage. I think they're trying to find some confidence, trying to get some momentum going. There is a rust factor that was typically, we saw that a bit in Rome. But I think it hasn't been that long since they played the Tour Championship. So it's totally okay. Like the rust factor isn't even that big of a deal, which I'm happy for. When Keegan mentioned that they were going to be playing this week, I was thrilled for USA. Like the two things that I was looking for is like, will we be playing before? And is Keegan going to pick himself or not? So now I'm quite excited for USA. My tune's changed a little bit, so we'll chat more about that in the garage. But I think these guys are going to rock and roll.
Across the pond, all the Ryder Cup guys are playing that way this week too.
Yep, Wentworth, and and man, that's a fun golf. That's a beautiful. If you get a chance, watch Wentworth. It's just a beautiful golf course as well.
Yeah, I don't know if Sky and Tom are doing a pod this week. I would expect them to. So I would go check that out on Man Media Network if you want Wentworth action. And those guys are sharp as tacks.
I just also love how Billy Horschel, first tournament back, he goes and plays the PGA BMW in Europe.
He's won it before, hasn't he?
Yeah, yes. But at the same time, it's like, fuck the Procore. I'm just going to Europe. Billy Horschel, if he was born in Europe, he would be a menace on Ryder Cup teams. I'm telling you now, he would have been on many, many of them. But
I mean, did you hear the story about him and Rory? So they played in the 2007 Walker Cup. And basically got into it, like, on the course. I mean, Billy was being Billy, and getting hype and shit like that. And Rory really didn't fuck with it. And they had a little, they were cool about it. They look back and laugh on it now, but there were some issues in that tournament. I think we missed out not having Billy Horschel on more Ryder Cups. Because I think it would have been fun to watch. He could have been our Ian Poulter.
Yes, he could have. I couldn't agree more. It's just as jacked as he is, he just doesn't have the distance. He's in great shape, but he just doesn't have like the distance of the tee, which you need to kind of get over the edge. And anyway, $14,400 for Scotty Scheffler, Kenny. Then it's Justin Thomas at 10-2. It's like $4,200. It's almost the price of a 6K golfer down there between Scotty and JT.
Scotty's got to be lower owned than normal, right? Because this 6K range is rough, right? 6K range is real rough. You're going to need like
very rough.
I think people will still go to him. I'm thinking 35% probably would still be what you get for Scotty. Again, we went over why I'm fading Scotty in the betting segment. I could be 100% wrong very easily. But if you're looking for reasons to fade Scotty, I feel like this event has more reasons than normal, if that makes any sense, right?
More variables.
Does that mean that it's going to happen? No. But I think there are more things that could fuck with him in here, routine-wise, never playing the course. Like I said earlier, playing practice with different people, practicing different than he normally would in a specific event, because all these guys have specific routines, right? Especially, a guy like Scotty. You know that he has a specific routine. He has dudes he plays with. He keeps to what he needs to do before each tournament to get himself fully prepared for Thursday. And I think this is possibly, there could be more obstacles in that for him at this event. So I will be fading him. He can win. Okay. But I will be fading.
Built for Scotty Scheffler as well. Keep it in the fairway. Make sure you tidy around. It's just like it's built for him.
Mm-hmm.
Again, he's 14-4. You got to make a reason why you're not going to play. And, maybe just the price is just enough to like say, fuck that. Let's go somewhere else. I'm cool going to JT at 10-2. I love him and Russell Henley as my two guys outside of Scotty. I think you can almost play both of them and then still have a similar, I haven't done the clicking yet, but I'd imagine the 4 guys you have to fill in a JT Henley lineup would be very close to the 5 guys you have to fill in for a Scotty lineup. So you're still getting that like.
If I'm gonna play anyone in this range, it's gonna be Russell. He's second in my model. The iron game is elite. The wedge game is pretty good. Really good on the par 4s. It just makes sense. I like Henley. If I play someone in the 10K range and above, it will be him. I'm not sure I will, because I like the 9K range a lot. My first favorite up here in GPPs is going to be Burns at 9,700. Again, the end of the season was very, very good. He should have probably had a couple of wins towards the last quarter of the year. His ball striking has been very strong. And of course, he's one of the world's best putters, right? That combo can go a long way, right? That combo can go a long, long way. Again, wedge play, solid. Really good in the par 4s. I do like Sam Burns. Another GPP play that I like in the 9K range, and this is sort of a revenge narrative. It's going to be Maverick McNeely at 9K. Just misses the Ryder Cup here with all the Ryder Cup guys. Keegan here. Most professional athletes, they have to have that sort of edge, right? Something that gives them that edge that can maybe motivate them to go to the next level. If Mav is truly an elite athlete, and I think he is, he's won before, he's a great golfer. A top 25 in the world now, top 30 in the world player, I think, if I'm not mistaken, right? He should be frothing at the mouth to show Keegan Bradley that he fucked up. You fucked up, dog. You should have took me instead of fucking Colin Morikawa. And I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to prove it to you. He's had a runner-up at this event in the past. His course history here is very up and down. But he has had a runner-up here in the past. And again, his iron game, above average, but wedges, 125 to 150, very, very strong. So I'm going to go sort of play
runner-up.
What's up?
Came in The last time he finished second was at the Genesis on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
So,
and he
like,
had a pretty good end of the season. I think he finished third at FedEx, St. Jude. He had that top 3. So I like it, and I sort of like that narrative a lot for him. I
man.
want him. Maybe it's just me, and I want him to come out and show this, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and play him because of that. Now my 2 cash game cornerstones to start are also in the 9K range. The first one's going to be Patrick Cantlay at $9,500. The price seems low. He's actually had experience on this course, played this course a couple of times, coming off a really good FedEx Cup run, right? And so, he had his first top 5 in God knows how long at the Tour Championship. I think he had a top 10 at the St. Jude. The game looks like it's coming. I know he's a Ryder Cup guy. He's going to want to work on everything, but he hasn't had a win in 3 years. So, he's going to want that W. We're getting to the point where this is his time of year. The Ryder Cup a couple years ago, if you remember, President's Cup and stuff like that. The guy can ball. And it looks like he's trending upwards at the end of the season. So I'm going to go ahead. Patrick Cantlay, first cash game cornerstone. Next one is going to be JJ Spawn at 9,200. Talked about him on the betting segment. He's played here a bunch. A 9th and 11th in 2 of his last 5 starts here at Silverado. Ball striking has been very strong all year. Wedge game, good around the greens, solid, supremely confident coming in. So I like those 2 guys. Who do you like?
Just to wrap a bow on the Justin Thomas Russell Henley combo, that's going to leave you $7,450 for your next 4 guys. Scotty Scheffler alone leaves you $7,120. So it's less than $300 less per person that you got to click with just Scotty Scheffler versus the 2 other guys underneath him, which is absurd to think about. But hey, it makes sense. Just do your thing. As always, Kenny, I think Mav is I've got him ranked fourth in my model, dude. He's $9,000. He's 10th in DraftKings pricing. It's a clear value at that price. He's also a perfect GPP play because you mentioned his course history is up and down. That's what you're looking for. You're getting like strokes gained averages, which take his bad rounds into account, but you just need him for a good round. And he spikes hardcore. He's got a 23% top 5 rate. That's like Russell Henley-esque. Like no one else is better than that in this field. The Scotty Scheffler obviously is at 60, but he's finishing inside the top 5 like once in every 4 starts. Like he's $9,000 and he's below Colin Morikawa's price. So smash that. I'm out on Colin Morikawa always. It just seems like he just keeps getting this name value recognition. Yes, he's solid at golf. I'm out on him at 9-1. I think Cameron Young is interesting, Kenny, at $9,300. When you think of like the bomb narrative, you need to hit bombs and make bombs at this golf course. That's one way to kind of dismantle it. And Cameron Young can do just that. He's also a lot better, like relative to the rest of his iron play. His wedges are the better area of his game, which is kind of surprising considering how long of a golfer, like he hits the golf ball, but he's still very, very good with the wedges. So we can expect Cam Young to just light it up. And he's also, played very well on power greens in the past. Give me him. Then Ben Griffin as well, Kenny. He just seems to check all the boxes all the time. He's just doing his thing. He's super consistent, great around the greens. I love Ben Griffin going there. So those are my kind of low value options. You might even be able to sneak one of them into, if you want to build a Scotty lineup with 3 studs, then you're still clicking the same names everyone else is clicking with Scotty Scheffler. I don't know. Just a thought for you guys out there. A name I will not be playing. $8,800, Davis Thompson. What the fuck is that doing over there? That is an absurd value as a price for his DFS slate. I've got him ranked 60th in upside and 42nd in safety. His DK price is 12th in this field. Yes, the course history is fantastic. The course history was fantastic at the John Deere, and he like had a couple chip-ins and like a massive like variance to kind of catch up to at least doing that, but he's still not paying off all this course history. He's playing poor golf right now. I'm completely out on Davis Thompson. Like that is my one person I am not playing. He's probably going to win the golf tournament now. Go ahead and bet that outright over there. But $8,800 is just far too expensive. Give me Akshay Bhatia instead of him. We'll monitor the ownership, Kenny, on Max Homa, because he's also priced up there for the course history thing. But I think he's shown us a bit more than Davis Thompson has. Like Max has really kind of popped once or twice per tournament, per round, and then just kind of lost it. I think going back to the West Coast, he's had lots of time, no playoffs for Max. So he's had tons of time to practice. Maybe he's rusty. Maybe he's found it. Maybe he's refreshed. Maybe he's recharged. Maybe he's chomping at the bit. I'm all in on Max Homer this week. I love what he can get up to. Give me him. And then Jackson Koivin, your boy. I'll take him at $8,500. It's absurd to think that he'd be playing this dude who's in college at $8,500, but it makes too much sense. He played fantastically at Cypress Point, so he's familiar with that West Coast stuff going on there. I think Koivin is smash playing eights. What you up to?
Yeah, see, I'm not really sure. So my hustler play of the week, Mike, hit the music, is Jackson Koivin. I'm thinking he might be a little bit popular, and I have a backup just in case for you guys out there. But let's go ahead and talk about Koivin. I bet him 45-1 with 8 places, and he is my hustler play of the week. Played some, meaningful golf just last week, right? So that he's warm. That he's ready to play, right? He's locked in. He looked sharp at the Walker Cup. He looked impressive out there. The kid has won every award imaginable. I think he's the first collegiate golfer ever to win all 4 major awards, amateur awards, in a single year, right? I don't know what those awards are, but I remember reading that about him. The Nicholas Award, whatever, something else. Unlike most of the field, like I said, who we don't really know what they've been doing the last couple of weeks. We know his ass is out there grinding, practicing, playing really fucking meaningful golf. So he should be sharp. He's finished 5th, 6th, and 11th in his last 3 PGA Tour events. And the guy's going to be a stud. So I do like Koivin. He might be popular. If he's too popular to be the hustle play of the week, my hustle play of the week is someone who I think is going to go under-owned for what I think their value is. I think Sammy Valinaki could be hustler play of the week B, right underneath him. Again, he's coming in hot. Those back-to-back top 10s. People are going to look at his price, $8,400. Like, why am I paying this much for Sammy? And some models that, sites with models, they don't even record the finishes on the DP World Tour, right? So some people might not even know that he has back-to-back top 10s coming into this event. And like I said, even while coming into this event, I have him 14th in my model in the last 24 rounds in this field, and it doesn't even include those 2 DP World Tour events. So I think, if you see Koivin getting steam and becoming one of maybe top 10 highest owned golfers in the field, then I think you could switch and pivot to Valimaki. I am a fan of him as well. And this is another reason why, I don't think I want to play like any 10K guys, because I love this 8K range. There's 4 guys that I have starred. It's those 2. I have Batia starred. We talked about him, and I like Max Homa too, that you just talked about. So I think that's another reason why I might stay away from the 10K range and go really, really balanced when it comes to it this week.
Yeah, because if you're going balanced, you're not, again, like a third of the field's going to have Scotty. A third of the field's not going to be going with those balanced guys because you've got $7,100 for your next 5 names. You're only going to be clicking one 8K guy, maybe, if anything. So I love the balanced approach, Kenny. It's going to create, you're only playing against 2/3 of the field essentially in that department. And if you build differently in that range,
that's the only thing.
That's always the case, but there's only a 33% chance it happens this week, so we got to capitalize on the other 2 weeks that he doesn't. So we'll see what he does. But again, $7,100 to fit 5 other people in. Who the fuck are those 5 other people going to be? That's just 5 times you got to put that person at that price in there. So trying to get that right is going to be impossible. Who you got in the 7s, Kenny? I'm a big fan of Matt Kuchar. Matt Kuchar and Bo Hassler this week.
Yeah, I like Matt Kuchar as well, but my final 2 cash game cornerstones are going to be right up here near the top. It's going to be, first off, it's going to be Patrick Fishburne at $7,900. Talked about him in the betting segment. Number 8 in my model the last 24 rounds. Number 1 in par 4 efficiency, 4 under 450 last 24 rounds. Ended the regular season with 5 straight made cuts, 3 top 20s in that span. And in those 3 top 20s, he had 2 top 10s. So he's coming in, with good form. And it's only been, a few weeks since he's played. It's not like these guys are playing, at a humongous break. Hopefully he knew he was going to play this tournament. He's staying focused. I think he had a pretty good finish here last year too. If I remember correctly, I think he was top 10 here last year. Go ahead and check that for me while I go to my next cash game cornerstone. It's going to be Mark Hubbard at 7,900 also. Hubbard comes in with I think 5 straight made cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight made cuts. I think something like 10 of his last 11. The guy just makes a lot of cuts. He finished 3rd his last time out at the Wyndham Championship. He's had good success at this course as well. So my cash game cornerstones for this week are going to be Patrick Cantlay at $9,500, JJ Spawn at $9,200, Patrick Fishburne at $7,900, and Mark Hubbard at $7,900. Leaves like 15,600 to fill out. You can go all the way up to the 8K range if you'd like, even the 9K range if you want to. If you feel like delving into that 6K, I probably won't go lower than 6,800 in cash right now. So, but those are the 2 that I like up top in this 7K range. For GPPs, I like Victor Perez. His iron game has been really good. He's been really good on those shorter par 4s. He's actually been crushing par 4s in general here recently. I like him at $7,500. Next up, Kevin Roy at $7,200. Again, iron game strong. Tee to green has been very, very good. He's been putting lights out. Again, good on shorter par 4s. Great on par 4s in general once again. So I do like him. Kevin Roy at $7,200. Who do you like in the 7K range?
The 7K range is loaded too. So that's, I think that's going to be where the people are going for, Scotty, especially at the bottom here. There's a couple names that you can really lean on quite heavily. I'll start from the bottom. If you are on the West Coast at a wedge fest and you are not playing Taylor Montgomery, I don't know what you are doing with your life. It's the riskiest play you could ever make because this man's shoulders could literally fall off his body at any given moment. But he's $7,000 flat, and he's a ridiculously good power putter. He's a great wedge option, and I've got him ranked 14th in my model for this week. So he's $7,000. It's a smash play in my opinion. He's fantastic on these comp courses as well, and I think he showed up as a Corn Ferry Tour guy. This was one of his first events, and he was like lights out. So I like what he can get up to here. Another name, Tom Hoagie. If you think about like just pure ball striking bliss, this man can do it. He's also got a child, and he's probably shotting himself now as well. So maybe he's had a time to kind of relax a little bit in the fall, kind of get the life back together, because he's a ridiculously good iron player. We haven't had a top 20 from this man in forever, but it's going to come. I think we are looking at a guy that's got all the skill sets to get it done at this golf course, along with my favorite play in this range, Mackenzie Hughes. He had a 4th place finish here last year. His skill set on power surfaces, putting wise, top 15 for both metrics I'm looking at. We are going to look at around the green play. Hello, Mackenzie Hughes, Magic Bean City. This guy gets it done like nobody around the greens. And I've also got him ranked in my model number 13 for upside. He is 31st for safety. So that's kind of telling you what you're going with here. You're not looking for him in like a cash game situation. You're playing this man in GPP's high leverage situations where he can pop. He has won multiple times on the PGA Tour, right? And he's also won or played very good golf at the RSM, which I think you can kind of almost comp this course to in a smaller kind of venue, wedge intensive. Let's see what he can do. And then as we get out the 7s, Tom Kim. He checks a couple boxes for me. Like these short positional venues, I think Tom can really thrive. We're just waiting on that putter, Kenny, like you mentioned. We are waiting on these dudes. Team No Putts, this is the week. Tom Kim doesn't know what the fuck he's doing on greens any week. Now maybe he can get it together on power surfaces that could bounce his ball from missing into the hole. 6K range, where are you going there?
So I like David Lipsky. We talked about him during the betting segment. He's probably one of my favorite plays in this range. Justin Lower at 6,800 with the course history has played this course very, very well. Finally made a cut in his final appearance during the regular season. So maybe you can draw on that a little bit. Adam Svensson, again, another guy who's played this course well, has had a top 15 finish here towards the end of the season. Inside the top 25 in the last 24 rounds in this field in both strokes gain approach and tee to green and around the green. So I like Svensson a lot this week. He's actually in my cash lineup with Bhatia right now. Is how I have it. With Bhatia, that might adjust to Koivu and Lipsky, but I sort of like Bhatia in cash, a little bit safer, I think, than Koivu. But Koivu, I like a lot in GPP. So that's sort of what's, perplexing me here on the bottom of my cash lineup. But I do like those three guys. If you're going for deeper, Zach Blair, 6,600. I don't know why. This motherfucker loves the course.
Checks 3 boxes, Kenny. He checks the 3 boxes that you're looking for. It's the power surfaces. It's the wedge play. That's his jam. This is the course for him. Short dude. Doesn't he remind you of the guy from Happy Gilmore 2? The villain that gets the hip surgery?
Yes, yeah. You know who that guy is, right?
He's from Stranger Things or I don't know. I don't watch all that other shitty.
I'm trying to remember. I think it's the same guy who is in he's in an episode of Entourage where Billy Bob Thornton is the filmmaker and he's the son of Billy Bob Thornton. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this is the same kid who sees dead people. What's the Bruce Willis movie? I See Dead People. M. Night Shyamalan, Ding Dong. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
What fucking movie is it?
We'll figure it out. In the meantime, Peter Malnati, $6,400. Fantastic option when it goes to West Coast. Skinny Pete on the POA. Let's go. Give me all of that. Some Camille Villagakis at 6,300 for you Scotty Scheffler players. $6,300. This man can get it done. He checks 2 boxes for me. I like what's going on there.
I figured it out. The Sixth Sense. You've seen The Sixth Sense. It's like the biggest twist in movie history at that point in time. No?
Okay.
You never saw it?
I'll have to watch it.
Okay.
I'll have to
I
watch
won't
it.
tell you. I mean, I probably just ruined it, but he's the little kid. He's like the little 8-year-old boy, in that movie. I think. I could be totally.
Are we legit speaking about Zach Blair or the guy that was in
the guy that looks like Zach Blair? I know you're talking.
Okay. Yes. So those names. Go back, rewind, have some fun there. Disaster class in the 6K range, which kind of sums up the 6K range, in all honesty. There's a bunch of names in here that can get you in trouble. But one more name, Rafael Campos. Let's get to it. Kenny, congratulations, my man. Fucking Ryder Cup W. You took down the whole bad boy.
Won the Slider Cup. I think I finished 120th in the Mayo Cup. So I won, I think, over $2,500 in one and dones. Those are the only 2 that I was in. So I'll definitely be in those 2 again next year.
You should do more. You're so good at this stuff. I'll enter for you. You just play my stuff.
No.
I'm so bad at. I'm just joking. I'm gonna get it together.
I don't even have a system. It changes every year. I don't know. It's just weird. I just pick the right people. I don't have very many missed cuts. I think that's the cash player in me. You know what I'm saying? Being a
but missed cuts aren't gonna. Maybe Slider Cup it helps, but
yeah. I don't know. If you get, you're right. For Slider Cup, it definitely helps. For Mayo, I think I have 4 winners.
Yeah.
And I think 3 of them were signature events. So that's the big thing. You got to hit the Siggies in the Mayo Cup. That's the huge thing. You have to hit the Siggies. If you're going to win events in the Mayo Cup, they need to be in the signature events.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome stuff, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. let's rock and roll. Check out all the wonderful Mayo media content, NFL. Like Pat is, I don't know how that man survives. The guy's just putting out
sleep during
content
the NFL
nonstop.
season.
Woo, baby. So go check out all the wonderful stuff that he's got out there. We'll be rocking and rolling the whole fall swing. I'll have my Model Maniac Patreon out there all the time, baby. FGD50, get yourself 50% off a month or a year for yourself over there. Use code FGD15 for 15% back at kickbackgolf.com. Also use code FGDegenerates to get yourself 1.5% back at Play ProphetX, the title sponsor of this wonderful show that you guys have made it through for what? Hour 45, maybe 2-hour show on the way back here. Absolute banger. Loved every second of it. Can you get us the hell out of here?
You can find me on X at Kendo VT, Final Betting Card, ProphetX Plays, funny random shit, random stats, golf info, non-golf info, all on the X feed. In 2 weeks, we'll be recording from Byron's basement for the Ryder Cup, the biggest event of the year. It should be a good time. But before that, let's enjoy this Procore Championship with an elite field. Let's enjoy Wentworth with an elite field. It's going to be a fun weekend of golf. Let's win some motherfucking money. DJ Nation.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan.